I went to downtown Seattle to see their World Cup festivities and then explored around the area while people watched some soccer. This is the most crowded I've ever seen this bus before noon, and here we are in Pioneer Square. This city is pretending it's not an American city and has a bunch of streets closed off to cars, which is honestly great. The crowds before the US versus Australia World Cup game amounted to some of the largest I've ever seen around Pioneer Square. The energy was high, people were having fun, and some were doing what soccer fans do: two-fisting adult beverages in the morning before the game even starts. My go-to Pioneer Square coffee option is typically Zeitgeist, but there was a line of about a dozen just waiting to get it even side, so that plan died immediately as I walked north. I walked past the Lime bikes and scooters, where it was very clear this city and the company were ready for this crowd, before making my way to my plan B option, which was Pegasus Coffee. The crowds came through earlier and picked their pastries clean, so I downed my Doppio espresso in the quiet space looking over the main room before making my way further north just to see how far the crowds went. The World Cup had some ticketed and free places to watch the World Cup game on the pier, and unsurprisingly it led to a crush of people all hanging out around the area, so I detoured up the steps to "Okay Seattle, your gun wall's still really disgusting," to my favorite sign ever. No, not the Seattle Public Market sign, I mean the road closed sign, because Pike Place Market was closed to cars. Why is this only temporary? Anyway, I made the most of our reprieve from automobile traffic by frolicking in the middle of the street before deciding to try something I hadn't tried while walking through here, and that was the food market stand selling minced lamb rolls. After grabbing my goods, I walked by another makeshift viewing area for the World Cup game before detouring down a viewpoint for the waterfront, sat down, and dug into the Land of Origin's alleged Moroccan lamb roll, which I got for $10. This thing was okay. It was a lot more fried bread than lamb, which honestly didn't surprise me, but a meat hot pocket stuffed inside of fried bread is never bad, so I smashed that and went back to the walking around until I decided, I haven't actually been to the Seattle Art Museum, or as it's known as the SAM, and maybe today is a good day to do it while it feels like the rest of the city is watching soccer. I was greeted inside by very kawaii clouds before buying my ticket, and heading in to explore a pretty robust collection of modern art, artifacts and chairs from Asia, including Japan and China, a collection of African modern art, and a display of indigenous items and totems from the Pacific Northwest. But my favorites in the museum ended up being Samantha Yuen-Wall's What We Leave Behind, with Yuen-Wall being born in Seoul but living in Portland, and her work is equal parts mesmerizing and haunting. My video isn't going to do this area justice, and you should just go see it in person. Additionally, Monochrome, the Calder and Terra Doniphan exhibit, also blew me away with their very detailed and layered structural art displays that lean into texture and black to create a very unique viewing experience. I went up to the top floor to see a giant doggo. Okay, it's a wolf, and the floor had a good collection of art diving into the connection between humans and animals, before making my way through the rest of the museum and then on my way back to Pioneer Square, which, given how many peeps had been day drinking since breakfast, was still bustling. I wasn't feeling the feeling with these crowds, however, and decided my downtown trip had come to an end. I walked out from the main drag, tapped my Orchid card, and I was ready to take the bus home.